Well, 18 days out, and the latest forecast shows several states moving toward Hillary Clinton, at least in the overall, when you cobble up all the overall polls that are out there. Of course, ultimately, the battle is for 270 electoral votes. Many pundits, though, are warning that this race is far from over. Down-ballot Democrats, in the meantime, striving to pull off remarkable upsets in Congress while the GOP fights to retain its presence of power and the balance of power down in Washington, D.C. Joining me to discuss, liberal commentator Danielle McLaughlin and GOP strategist Scott Miller. Scott, let me start with you. A lot of talk about down-ballot Republicans and perhaps the GOP losing not only the Senate but the House. How realistic is that to you?
Completely unrealistic, I think. You know, the Senate is going to be close with one or two seats. Could change, but the House, no, it's safe for the Republicans.
Danielle, we see where Hillary Clinton is spending money in Texas, Arizona. But you remember in the summer she did that. You know, she had this huge lead in the averages, and she spent the month raising money, chilling out with Hollywood, and doing things that, you know, going after states that it looked like she had a chance to win. Right. And it didn't work out for her. I mean, you know, I think she probably, because of that, she certainly saw a lead slip in a lot of places and maybe won't be able to get back a lot of those states. Is she making the same mistake here? Do they really think they're going to get down ballot? They're going to win seats in Texas and other places?
So 538 has the chances of the Democratic Party taking back the Senate at about 73%. To take control back, they only need 4 seats, plus if Clinton wins, Tim Kaine becomes the deciding vote. I think what Clinton is doing is she's spending the money she's raised, and she's using the ground game that she has set up around the country in a way that is much stronger than Donald Trump's, of course, to support those down-ballot candidates.
But don't you think it's a mistake, though? I mean, you've watched this summer. I mean, listen, it's Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. If they want to be cocky to this degree, that's fine. But just as an observer watching this, it seems like hubris, the kind of hubris that voters don't like.
Well, I think you have to take advantage of the weakness of your opponent. And Donald Trump, since the beginning of October, has really fallen precipitously in polls. And so what I think they're doing is, and they do have the resources to do this, is to take advantage. Because what Clinton wants is not just the presidency, but she wants Congress as well. And what we see, and we saw this with Barry Goldwater in '64, and we saw this with Bush in 2008, you can see a huge upset with an unpopular presidential candidate.
Scott, what do you think of that? I think it's a huge mistake on her part, and I think it's the kind of chutzpah that got her in trouble earlier this year.
Yeah, this is the equivalent of, you know, when a team goes into the prevent defense and suddenly the other team scores 2 touchdowns. You know, I think it is complacency. And her coattails are, as we've seen on those pantsuits, very short. I don't think she's going to pull along a lot of people. I don't think Trump is either. I think it's a national race almost decoupled from the Senate and the House. I think those are local races, and I think she's making a mistake. Yes, she's complacent. You could see it in her smile on during the debate.
I don't see how it's complacent to be looking to win and attract more voters and send your message to more voters in states where Democrats have not traditionally done well. I think that shows energy and drive. You know, she's trying to reach more people than a traditional Democrat would.
Scott?
Well, you know, she may. I think she's probably just trying to win her own votes. That's for sure.
And she wins, Scott. For instance, you know, Arizona. Donald Trump has been in Arizona 6 times. Hillary Clinton hasn't been in the state, but they're spending a lot of money there, and they're sending surrogates there. Is that the strategy? Again, I really believe that they're setting themselves up for Donald Trump to regain momentum, because they're chipping away at these polls already. In the last 4 or 5 days, they've moved. Yep. The needle's moved, and you know, and we've seen the British exit vote. We saw what just happened in Colombia.
Look, I totally agree with you, Charles. Look, Hillary and Republican establishment, Bush and various others, have spent about $650 million in negative TV ads against Donald Trump, and haven't moved the needle. And neither is Hillary. And I don't see that spending on TV is going to take the place of being there, being on the ground. Just look at the enthusiasm that Trump generates without having to pay for people to come to his rallies
but
and
I think
pay for people.
That's also Trump's weakness, because he doesn't have the kinds of surrogates that Hillary Clinton does. She has the president, she has the first lady, she has Elizabeth Warren, she has Bernie Sanders.
The fact of the matter, Danielle, is that she needs those people. All of them are substantially more popular than she is. They don't carry the baggage that she carries. So, I mean, it's not that she has them. She needs them. In fact, if she does win this thing, it won't be because of Hillary Clinton alone. It will be the most amazing team effort that possible, you know, that the Democrats could have had. And, of course, that gets back to a whole different issue on the Republicans, RNC, and Paul, Ryan and the others not necessarily supporting Donald Trump the way you would imagine that you support the person who earned the nomination of your party.